Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Where's everybody at this morning? Oh, we got people today. Wonderful. How's everybody doing today? So, we're gonna talk about the riots. Peaceful protests, or whatever you want to call them. Wink, wink. Everything is perception. So, you can perceive things a certain way and relay that information, while somebody else might look at the situation and perceive it a different way. And for those of you guys that see my thumbnail, look at this. Ugh, that's why I hate lipstick. I usually wear really glittery gloss, and this has got like more of color to it that I don't like, because ugh. Anyways, try not to look at my teeth, you know what I mean? Way to start off, right? So peaceful. My picture in the thumbnail, I feel like, is peaceful, but the stuff that we're seeing out of LA, I seen something in Texas last night. Apparently there was stuff going on in Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas. Was it New York? Las Vegas was the shooting, the YouTuber versus YouTuber crime. But it didn't look really, it looked like nobody was setting fires last night, but it didn't look like necessarily it was peaceful. There were people getting arrested. Peaceful to me would be like, hey, sir, you're under arrest, or hey, sir, you need to get out of here, or get on the sidewalk, or get out of the street, and then the person follows directions and moves along to the street. This was like, I'm gonna resist and fight you, and then we're gonna watch the tussle on the TV, and then when you're gone off the street, the other people may or may not behave properly. But to call it a peaceful protest is like, to me, it's offensive. So when the media starts showing you things, it's for a reason, right? We're getting real deep real quick. My goodness, today's my birthday. Good morning, K Mitch. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I can do a little bit better than that. I might practice and do a better singing job later, if you're lucky. Thank you, Helena. Look at the cute little box. I love the mystery gift. Oh, it's got little feet, and then it just goes. So, the purpose of my stream today, which I don't have to get off right here, right now. Usually I go into work at 7:30, but I have to be here a little bit later this week. So, in order not to get overtime, boss boy was like, you can stay out there in the car doing whatever it is you do until, like almost 8. And I'm like, check. We will do that. So, I wanted to just talk about, I guess, perception, and to kind of show you guys what I mean by my point and what I'm trying to say. I showed you the thumbnail on my screen, on my video, is the little tiki stand that Dolly got from some crafting lady. She's a cute little lady. She literally makes crafts at her house, and I'm like, that's really cute, and it's really peaceful in the pool. So to me, when I think of peaceful, I think of the pool. But when there is an agency or organization or set of people, social media in general, with an agenda, in my opinion. I'm trying to word this correctly to not sound like the female version of Alex Jones, okay? It's like they go fishing whenever they post a news story. In my opinion, they show the world what they want the world to react to. And so it's as if they're doing a bait and hook switch tactic on y'all. Oh man, a makeup brush. Abigail Rose, thank you so much. I love it. But they're showing us all these riots for a reason, right? And they're calling them peaceful protests so that people can become reactive and see the stuff that's going on and thinking like, hey, these people are just trying to live their life. Why are these people being mean to them? We got to go there and try to save them. Or we got to go out if we live in the same place. We got to go out and try and fight for our rights because they're taking our rights. Because, you know, and so people are falling for the rhetoric and becoming emotionally reactive. And I've said this one other time, okay? And this is like the most far-fetched thing that I think when I try to compare the world and the system that we're in, okay? Because there's got to be a purpose for us all, right? There's got to be a reason that we are all here on this planet, right? Shit just got real deep real fast. But press 1 in the chat if you've seen the movie Monsters, Inc. with the monster characters. They have jobs to do every day. They go to like a simulation, and then they go into a bedroom of a child. They scare the child. They collect the... Thank you for the thumbs up, Lady for Justice. All right, you guys have seen it. They collect the screams and the fear from the children in order to keep the electricity in their little town, right? To me, clearly this is not the case exactly verbatim, but to me it's like, what is the purpose of every source on the television or on the screen of whatever screen you're looking at? What is the purpose of everything they show you being negative and you're reactionary to it? Like, what if they were utilizing this system to get us to react to it so they could feed off our emotion or something? Like, it's clearly not the case. And I know how ridiculous it probably sounds, but it's like, you never hear stories on a daily basis that are like feel-good stories, like cop and rider become best friends. Demonic energy feeds off negativity. Yeah, right. I mean, I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. But it's like, I know there's stories in the news that are good stories. Like there's missing children that end up being found. And then we see that on the TV and it's just like, wow, and it feels great. Imagine if you could have a story like that on a daily basis, or if the entire news segment is filled with just dogs are getting adopted, the people on the streets are making friends and they're realizing they're fighting for nothing, or the bully that was bullying the school got saved and decided to become one of the Girl Scout troops, or like, it would just be complete opposite of the world we have today. Today we see, you know, oh my God, so-and-so got killed. So-and-so and so-and-so were clashing during the riots, and so-and-so set the house on fire, and so-and-so would like, it's overwhelming to the point where you become jaded. Like, you literally become just numb to the world. Everything becomes scary to you, and you start just thinking things so negatively that, you know, of course there's riots. Of course there's people fighting. Of course the town looks like it's set on fire. What do you expect them to do, you know? Well, and so YouTube creators pew-pewing each other. Right, exactly. Man, I want to talk about that situation. The two YouTubers in Las Vegas, they were both recording when they did it. It was like 2 live streams simultaneously freaking together, where you can line up exactly what happens. You see who done it. The poor wife, I believe, may not be alive anymore. And the man that did it, I haven't seen as being arrested. But I'm telling Dolly the story last night because I told him about it kind of when it happened, because that's the kind of thing I'm always scared of. He's got some argumentative type of relationships from back in the day to where some people still are angry with him for stuff that literally is from like 4 years ago. And I'm like, I don't want people to know, hey, you're going to Boston tomorrow at 5 a.m. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel comfortable with that, because there's some people that are still obsessively angry at just old you from 4 years ago. But it's like you never know how far the person that you're beefing with is willing to go. Like, you never know. And in the world today, it's like, based on what we're seeing on the television and on the news and on all the broadcasts that we are shown, it makes it seem as though, like somebody could snap at any moment, but most likely most people are not going to snap, but there's going to be the one person, and therefore it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, I always, and then I stop him, and he's like live, and he's like, so yeah, next week on Friday we're gonna be going da da da, and I'm like, do you want to give him our coordinates? Like, do you want to tell him the GPS status of our current location? Like, what? And I say that because that's how we talk to each other, and I'm just a smartass in that manner. Like, I'm literally like, instead of being like, hey, retard, because that's a frowned upon word, but back in the day when I was younger, that was just a term that you said, for somebody that was not as quick on thinking as you were. But, it's wrong. So I don't do that. But on my channel, here and there, I'll just slip up and say things that are frowned upon. But ultimately, it's just like I squirreled all over the place just now. Perception. If you choose to watch the news 24/7. All right, I got another poll. Put a 2 in the chat, because 2 is my favorite number. It's actually 22, but 2. I like 2s. Put a 2 in the chat if you have a parent or parents that at one point in time in your life, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, however old you are right now. I spit that out, kind of weird. However old you are right now. 2, if you had parents that sat around all day on all their free time, and every time the TV was on in the living room, there was either CNN or Fox News on at all times. Push 2 in the chat. I want to see, because my parents did this. And see, Lady for Justice Church. I knew it was common. I knew it was common because I'd go to my friends' houses and their parents would either have CNN or Fox News on at all times. And it's either or. See? There's at least 5 people of you in here that had parents, or I mean, my family friends, my close friends, her mom did it. My neighbor, I went to hang out with my neighbor one time, and I was like, wow, your parents watch CNN. Interesting. And it was kind of when I was younger and I was accustomed to Fox News, and I'm just like, oh, this is different. And I would sit there and be like, oh, okay. So it's like, it's either CNN or Fox News. And if it's either or, it's 24/7. And I'm like, with my parents, I'm like, at some point, I think it was like 1920 when I started to really like feel comfortable voicing my input in my family. But I'm like, don't you think that this is a little too depressing? Like, what are you gaining from sitting here watching at this? Like, you're sitting here staring. It's Saturday, and I'd like to go somewhere or do something. At that point in time, I could do that by myself. But, I was kind of like I had had enough. Like, I'd been sitting there probably trying to eat my breakfast or something, and I'd just gotten to a point where I'm like, what the hell are we doing? I'm like, you're just sitting here listening to the same old, like, I could recite the story based on the fact I heard it yesterday. Or like, what are you going to do? Like, are you going to change the world based on these problems you're being told on a daily basis? Like, how are you going to fix it? Like, I couldn't comprehend And ever since then, I've mainly just, I don't usually watch it. The only kind of news that I'll follow or watch, I just have to enjoy it. And it's usually like a true crime case that I'm looking for updates on, or that I'm looking to learn about. I kind of skim through like what's going on in true crime daily, just because it's what interests me. But as far as news, it's just like, why? And most of the time, the stories are told to you, if you've noticed, Fox versus CNN, in the perception of the company it's coming from. And so, exactly, allegedly, that's what I was getting at now, is that it's like, what even, and that, Trump coined the freaking term fake news, but it's been going on for a lot longer than we even really recognize. I mean, think about it. Back in the day, there were some stations that were, how do I say this kindly without offending anyone? I feel like Fox and CNN conversation is like a political battle to an extent, because it kind of is political, right? But I'm not political issues to me, right, left, wings, both bird, right, left, both part of the same body. You've got a right and a left hand. But I lost my train of thought. I was trying to talk about the difference between the two and the way they are presenting them to you. And back in the day, there was allegations of certain channels that were faking things, like way back when. Like there was wars going on, and they were showing the imagery, and apparently they were not actually on scene, but actually had green screens behind them. And I'm like, well, that makes a lot more sense to do it that way, because it would be probably very dangerous to go to a zone that's supposedly being bombed by airplanes, and you're just sitting out there. Like, so it would make more sense to be sitting in the studio and reporting on it with a green screen, but yet that would be frowned upon, because you're sitting here telling us that you're actually on location, but you're really not. So like the fake news thing, it's been coined as a term by the current president, but at the same time, it's like, that's been going on for such a long time that like we should already have discernment for ourselves and already see that ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like we shouldn't have to have somebody tell us, hey, this is fake news. But we do. And I was told by my client that CNN is Democrat and Fox is Republican. Yeah, that's pretty much basically what it is. I don't really look at any of it. Like I said, it's just, so where do you get the news? Do you really need the news? Like, for those of you, that you may do it. You might sit around and watch the news all day, or your parents did. What, like, usually when I do stuff, I feel as though, like, I wake up every morning and I say to myself, all right, I've got to be better today than I was yesterday. I got to finish something that I was started yesterday. I got to accomplish, what I feel I need to accomplish for the day, and to feel good about myself. And those are my goals generally, daily. And so if, let's say, I was somebody to sit around and watch news channels all day, or follow along to a story that's on repeat for 4 years, Summer Wells. It's going to be 4 years since Summer Wells was reported missing. June 15th, her parent is going to do some type of regurgitation of his story of whatnot. And I met these people. Candace Wells. They're humans. I believe they know what happened to their child, or something happened due to their neglect and they were too wasted to know what happened, but something happened. Like the kid didn't just vanish into thin air. And I was following the case. We would talk about the case, and that's all that was interesting to the people. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, what is watching this and being involved in this helping? Do you know what I mean? Like, I can usually tell myself that whatever it is I'm doing is benefiting me or benefiting someone around me or helping the whole. And when it becomes something that doesn't help or doesn't do a positive for me whatsoever at all, or for the situation, I have to learn to disconnect, or else I will be in a situation that I'm not okay in being. Does that make sense? And I get anxiety. This is where I've done so much deep research within myself. Like, I've literally had to dig into my own library of mind chapters and recognize that I actually get anxiety if my mind and my heart disagree. Do you get that? Like, if I used to be at this job, the boss would pick on me. She wrote me up and I was actually early because she thought it was a different day. I had different day schedules. And so she would look for little things to pick on me for so that she could write me up and she could be nasty to me. Thank you, Kathy. And so I started really anticipating every morning going to work, and I didn't really get that it was happening while it was happening at the moment. Like, I would get up, I would be driving to work, and I would just be like, okay, there's a lot of traffic. Why am I getting anxious? You know, and I always try to give myself some type of reason as to why something's happening. And if I don't have it, it just becomes just, oh my God, panic. So I started thinking, you know, every day it's getting worse. It's starting to happen as I'm walking into the building at work. It's starting to happen to a point where I'm like sleeping through my alarm subconsciously on purpose. Calling out sick, missing days. And it took me a minute to recognize that, okay, what is my problem? I have to be at work, so my brain knows that I have to work. That's what adults do. That's how you pay your bills. That's how you have nice things. But my heart is saying to me, you are not welcome or loved in this environment, and deep down it hurts you and you don't want to be here because this is not for you. But my mind is like, but I have to go to work every day. So I actually recognized that I developed an anxious response to situations where I'm in that I don't want to be in. Thank you so much. Misunderstood. Floating hearts are my favorite. But I also recognized, once I recognized that I did that, it was easier to kind of stop, like talk myself through it and get through it. I also did it when I got in line at the grocery store. If it was a long ass line, I would just get all like sweaty and I'm like, oh my God, this cashier's looking at me. They think I'm sweating my ass off. Like, am I gonna die? Like, I used to have such bad anxiety. I don't really have it like that anymore, thank God. But it's gotten the way that it is now because I've done a lot of self-help and I've done a lot of digging deep research within myself to determine this is how I am now. And I can't fight my response if it's my response. I'm responding the way I'm responding. It's me. Like, you know what I mean? So I know we scrolled all over the place just now, but basically what I was trying to come back to was the fact that right now we're being shown peaceful protests, and it's being shown to us to have us feel a certain way. And if we continue to watch it all day, every day, it's just not really beneficial to anybody. And their reasoning to show it to us is uncertain for me. Like, what do you want from us? Do you want to harness our fearful energy? Or do you want to harness our negativity that we gain from watching your newscast? You're the best, Helena. But I'm the type of person, and it's not like defiance disorder or anything, but I'm the type of person that I'm like, if you're looking for a specific thing from me that's not positive or that's not, you know, a good thing, in my opinion, I'm going to do whatever I can not to give you what this thing is. You know what I mean? So I'm like defiant in that manner to where I'm just like, I might just want to turn it off. That's how I am with YouTube. Like, if I don't like a YouTuber, I'm not going to watch their channel. And I'm not going to watch their channel to a set extent to where I will do everything in my power not to turn it on. Thank you, Misunderstood. Thank you, Jenna. You guys are awesome. I always feel like I'm rambling when I don't write stuff down, and then it's just like, it's help. Not that, oh, thanks for the super chats, but, it's like helpful to kind of, I don't know. It's not easy to come up here and just talk like this, especially for somebody that kind of, I don't have anxiety like I described all the time. It happens maybe once every 3 months, but I also still have those thoughts at all times, like what if, or like how I was describing when I'm at the cashier, and I'm starting to sweat because I have anxiety, and I'm thinking the person's literally staring at me and thinking like that I'm obese and sweating because I need cake, or I don't know what I think. It's ridiculous, but it helps to get it all out. And so every morning when I come live with you guys, I'm like, I want to have a purpose. I want to have a message. I want to have like an overall theme to what I'm saying. But then it's like, when it comes out the way it comes out, I'm just like, man, I just kind of spit that all out. I sound like I'm just like, and I'll listen back to it every now and then. And it's just like, man, like, did that make sense? Did that make any difference to anybody? Like, what was the point in doing that? Like, why did I say this, or and no matter what, and as confident as I could possibly be, like, it could be a little bit of a confidence issue, but like, I've always just been like, well, what if this, or what if that, or what if I didn't say the right thing, or what if I said something that offended somebody, or what if when I said the R word earlier, that really upset somebody, or what if, and I'm like, I don't want to come off wrong, and I don't want to come off to upset anybody, but yet at the same time, I'm not going to change who I am, so I'm always just going to say what I need to say. But ultimately, it's all about perception. There's people that are not ever going to like me, and I have to recognize that. I could do, just like with Dolly. Dolly has people that I mentioned here in this stream earlier that just simply dislike him. And they've argued with him 4 years ago, let's say. He's not going to do anything to change their mind. Like, if he goes to this shelter, like the homeless shelter, and hands out $100 bills, they would say like, oh, well, look at all the attention he's getting from giving out his money. It's like, so no matter what, he would be looked at that way by those people. Same thing with me. I have some people that simply just don't like how I talk, don't like what I have to say, don't like my perception on things. And that's totally okay. Their opinion, their input, there's always gonna be somebody or some set of people that dislike you. Exactly. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But with this situation, thank you, Mindy. You're so sweet. Thank you. With this situation, basically with the peaceful protests, they're clearly not peaceful. The picture that it's in my thumbnail to me is peaceful, but for some of you guys, you might find peace in the mountains, or you might find peace in your bed asleep. And thank you, Lady Justice. So it's all about your perception. It's all about everybody and their own perception, and everybody's different. And sometimes it's better just to turn it off so that you don't give your emotions away to somebody that's looking to harness your emotions. Does that make sense? That's my ultimate message there. But the reason I wanted to speak on it, because like I said, I wasn't really watching it, but I also wanted to speak on it, is I actually was from a different country. When I was born in Croatia, my family, my mother, my father, my sister, and I came here to Virginia. And my dad had gotten a scholarship to go to a university here. And so originally the family came here with him having a school visa, scholarship visa, some type of visa. Thank you, Helena. I love the little kid. They all come up on the screen. I love it. So yes, Croatian. And when the war started, it used to be called Yugoslavia. So when the war started, we had to after my dad's school finished, we were supposed to be going back. And we didn't want to take our family back into a war zone. And so we applied for green cards. And the process to get the green card is not just hop, skip, and get across the freaking borderline and you're here. It's a long, lengthy process. You have to do certain things and you have to pay money and you have to know certain people. Like my dad works for Pat Robertson, who's no longer alive. And my mom worked for his family and they put in a good word for us. And we had to pay money and it took like 10 years. And that's how we went from having visas to getting our green card. And then after that, like I feel like 10 years after that, it literally happened. I think I was 23 when I got citizenship. And again, that is another hurdle that you go through. Make sure you tell Helena thank you if you got a membership. You're the best. Thank you. But overall, it's a long, lengthy process that they have in place for the countries that have, ability for people to come over and become citizens of the country. You have to go through set things, set rules. And the people that are here that haven't gone through the process, I don't feel sorry for it. Because if you came here and you came here legally, the process is hard. The process is it takes money, it takes willpower, it takes a bunch of different things, people, you don't just hop, skip, and just here you are. And what really, really just made me the most mad about seeing the part that I did see is the other country's flag raised and waving around as we're desecrating the flag of America and the United States. I call it America because it's funny. I'll have to tell you guys that story another time. When we came over here when I was 7, it was like coming to America. Like, that's a real thing. So when you get here, you're like, oh, I'm finally in America. And the little kids were like, that you don't call it America. And I was like just learning English. I didn't know English when I went to school. I got thrown into 1st and 2nd grade at the same time. Didn't speak English. I had a little girl that had to sit next to me. And so I'm like, I'm happy I in America. And the little girl's like, it's not America. It's the United States. All right. But ultimately, I had to go through hurdles. I had to go through different things to get here. And so therefore, thank you, Christina. I feel that all the other people should feel the same way. They should go through the same. And they shouldn't be trying to fly their country's flag here and destroy ours. And it's like a takeover at this point. And so for me, I'm like, and that's why I shouldn't watch it, because I'm one of the people that would react or that would respond when it comes to that, because I've gone through that. And so it's like, what are you trying to hostile take over LA? Because that's what it feels like and looks like and sounds like to me. So thank you, Rita. Thank you, guys. It's already 8 o'clock. I gotta run, guys. I can't believe it's already 8 o'clock. I've been talking. Lost track of time. So tomorrow we might have the same amount of time. I might even be a little bit more early. I was kind of running late today, but hopefully maybe we can talk about some of my stories from when I came over here, because there's a lot of different. I changed my name. I didn't like the fact that my name was Ivana and it wasn't American for me. So I was calling myself Joanna, because that's how you translate, I guess. I don't even know where I got that from or how I thought to do that. But so like the little girls in the playground were calling me Joanna, and my dad was calling me Ivana, and they're like, who is he talking to? Like I could tell you guys a whole bunch of different stories. But anyways, on that note, I gotta run. You guys be good. Catch you guys on the flip side. Be nice to someone today, all right? Bicycle.